Hello, and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. Today we will be, of course, reading out of the Old King James Bible as usual. We will be reading from the Old Testament and from the New Testament to the law and to the testimony. Here a little and there a little. Okay. We also will be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title, The End of All Wars at the Coming of the Lord. The end of all wars at the coming of the Lord. Okay. I'm going to share these scriptures with you right quick. Excuse me. And you can jot them down if you like. But yeah, people, I'm gonna tell you something. If it has ever been a time, now's the time to try and get it right with the Almighty. I'm telling you, start keeping His laws and statutes. Read this book. You know, these Sunday pastors, they ain't reading it to you. They reading all that sweet, serene stuff to you and making you feel good. But hey, you need to read some of this stuff right here. Tell that cat, hey, let's read this. Let's see what the Lord wants us to do in order to try and see if we can escape this time. Because the Lord gonna bring some stuff upon this earth, man. I'm gonna tell you something. All them wars and stuff that you see going on over across that water over there. You know, you got Russia, Ukraine, Israel, and Hamas. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. That little stuff they doing over there now, compared to what the Lord gonna bring upon this earth, it don't even compare to it. I tell you something, the Lord gonna bring some stuff upon this earth. It's gonna be devastating. And we talking also not only the war that the Lord gonna come with and his troops, but we talking about that 3.5 years of great tribulation as well. Okay. But I'm gonna tell you something, people. We got to get it right. We need to get it right, and we got to get it right now. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Come a time when you're gonna look for him, you won't find him. Get caught up in that. Okay. But I'm gonna stop sharing these, and we're gonna go ahead and get into these scriptures right quick. And we're gonna start this in Isaiah. Isaiah the fifth Isaiah 66, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 15, and it reads, For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. Okay. Tell you something, people thinking the Lord is sitting in heaven ain't mad. Look what we just read right here. Say he is angry. What's going on this earth right now? People has gotten so bad. I mean, we have gotten right back to Sodom and Gomorrah, just like it was when Noah was before the flood, man. I'll tell you, it's gotten bad over here. The Lord mad. All right, verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Mm. The Lord say he gonna plead with all flesh. He ain't talking about come back rubbing you on the head, talking about, oh, come on, man. Do what I say. What do you say right here? He said, the slain, the Lord shall be men. That's his pleading. He'll be doing some serious killing when he get here, okay? All right, and this is future right here. We're reading, all right? Verse 17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst. What tree is that? Satan the devil. You hide behind that cat doing your devilment. Mm-hmm. Eating swine's flesh. Uh-oh. What's swine's flesh? That pork, that pig you eating? Yeah. He telling you, talking about all you got to do is pray over. You can eat anything. Tell you something. We talking future right here. All right. If you're eating it, you better put it down. All right. And the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. He gonna get you. He gonna get you. Okay. You don't stop eating that stuff. Okay. But verse 18, for I know thy works and thy thoughts. Lord, read your mind. You know what you're thinking. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. Okay? Tell you something more. The Lord God of Israel do not play. Okay? And don't you play with him. All right. If you do, you think you just fooling yourself. All right. But let's move on right here. Let's go over here to let's turn over here to Zechariah right quick. Let me show you this here. Going to Zechariah 14, and I'm going to start reading at verse 1, and it reads, Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. We're coming back doing some battling, people. And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Verse 3. Then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Verse 4. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof towards the east and towards the west. And there shall be a very great valley, and a half of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and half of it towards the south. And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azel. Yeah, ye shall flee like as ye fled before the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, and the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. Okay, now where's those saints at? Those are the ones that be so blessed, that's doing what he doing what the Lord say now, keeping his commandments. And if they make that first resurrection, they're gonna be raised. They're gonna meet the Lord in the air when he make his descent from heaven, and he is gonna bring you right on back down here with him on the Mount of Olives, fight that war of Armageddon. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's go over here to let's go to Revelations right quick here. I'm gonna show you something here. I'm gonna show you. Lord, come, people. He ain't gonna be playing no games. I'm telling you, he coming back here to take this earth down. Okay, 'cause when he finished with it, he said he gonna rule this thing with a rod of iron. And the government is gonna be up on his shoulder. The government, only one government, okay? He gonna rule it with a rod of iron. You gonna do what he say then, regardless, okay? If you be so blessed to live, okay? But Revelation 19, and I'm gonna start reading at, let's see, verse 11. And this is Brother John here. Let's see what the Lord had Brother John right here. All right. Revelation 19 and 11, and it reads, And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. Told you, it's going to be the last war right here. He going to end them all with his war, okay? Verse 12, his eyes were the flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. Why was his vesture dipped in blood? When we reading over in Isaiah about the slain of the Lord shall be many. And his name is called the Word of God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. We talking Jesus here, okay? And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, and white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of fierceness and wrath of Almighty God. Man, I want to tell you something, people. This God, you might want to get to know him. Make sure you get on his good side. Okay, verse 16. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Get to know this God. Okay. So you don't be on it, stay on his bad side. Get on his good side and stay there. Okay. But let's go back to the old book here. Let's go to Psalms right quick. I'm going to Psalms. Let's see. Psalms 110. Take a quick look at this here. Show you something, man. Show you what the Lord gonna do here. I'm gonna tell you, man, this thing is gonna be devastating, man. I don't want to get caught up in it. I know you don't either, but You need to learn about this God so you don't get caught up in it. Start doing what he say. Okay. But going to Psalms 110, I'm gonna start reading at verse 1. And it reads, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. If the Lord don't have some enemies, the Lord said he had his enemies are more than the hairs upon his head. A whole lot of enemies. You don't do what he say. Hey, you don't keep his commandments, laws, and statutes. You're an enemy of the Lord. Okay. Verse 2. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Verse 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath. He shall judge among the heathens and nations. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. Whoa. He shall wound the heads over many countries. Man. Boy, he gonna strike through kings. He is going to invade this earth with his troops. He gonna be doing some serious killing, and he is going to fill the places with dead bodies, people. Ooh. Tell you something I told you. That war stuff they doing over there now, across that water, ain't nothing compared to what the Lord gonna do. Telling you. All right. Now, let's go back to Revelation right quick. I'm gonna go to Revelation's 6th chapter right quick here and take a quick look at this. See, going to Revelation 6. And we are going to start reading at verse 14. And it reads, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and every island were moved out of their places. Lord, had those angels roll that water back. You be looking at up there every day. Pretty blue sky. Yeah, that's water you looking at. Okay. They're going to roll it back like a scroll. Verse 15. And the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Ooh, hey, well, you gonna try and hide yourself? You ain't hiding nowhere. The Lord got your number. Okay. Verse 17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? And I'm tell you something, people. It's gonna be devastating. Okay. Let's go back over here to the old book again. Let's go to Isaiah. Let's see. Going to Isaiah 34. Quick look at this here. I'm gonna tell you, people, man, I'm scared, man. I want to try my best to stay on that straight and narrow path. Do what this God say. Man, I don't want to get caught up in this, and I know you don't want to either. Okay, but we're going to see Isaiah 34. I'm gonna start reading at verse 1, and then he talking to everybody right here. Now listen to this. Let's see. Isaiah 34 and verse 1, and it reads, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is there in the world and all things that come forth of it. He talking to everybody. Okay. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He has utterly destroyed them. He has delivered them to the slaughter. Hmm. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. When we read that in Revelation about they're going to roll that water back. Okay. And all thy hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as it falleth as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. Man, Lord be doing some killing. It is made fat with fatness and with the blood of lambs and goats and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. Now, Lord ain't talking about literal lambs and goats and rams and stuff. He talking about people. Okay. For the Lord has a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Oh, Lord, gonna be doing some killing when he get here. But I'm gonna tell you what. Let's go take a quick look at this. Let's go back to the new book right quick. I'm gonna go to Matthew. Go to Matthew 24. I'll show you something, man, because a lot of people say it. I know a lot of you saying, well, my pastor said, yeah, right. The Lord gonna come, he gonna rapture us off to heaven. We ain't got to deal with none of this, bro. LD, you okay? Let's see. All right, and pay close attention to this. Okay. I'm gonna tell you straight up, you ain't going nowhere. Okay, you ain't escaping this. All right. And let's see, we're going to Matthew's 24, and I'm gonna start reading at verse 29. These first two verses, all this is written in red right here. This is the Lord talking himself, okay? All right, verse 29, and it reads, immediately after the tribulation of those days. So this is immediate after the tribulation. Okay. People talking about they're gonna get raptured out here before the tribulation. Let's see. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Verse 30. Now, watch this. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So when is the Lord going to come? Immediately after the tribulation of those days, after the great tribulation, at 3.5 years. He ain't coming until after that. So where you going? Okay. And when he comes, those that be so blessed to make the first resurrection, then you could be caught up to meet the Lord in the air. Okay, he coming from heaven. You'll come up from the earth. You meet him in the air, and he's gonna bring you. What did it say in Zechariah 14 chapter? You're coming right back down here on this earth from the Mount of Olives. Okay, so now, but let's see here. Let's read on. Verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Jesus said, only the Father know the time he is gonna come. Okay. Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Mm. For as in the days that they were for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Mm, okay. So tell you something, we done got right back to that time, same time as Sodom and Gomorrah, same time it was when during the flood, during Noah's time. This earth done got bad. Thoughts of man are just evil continually. Okay. Same old thing. You got all these sodomites running around here on the earth. You know what those are? Gays. Just like it was during Sodom and Gomorrah, Lord. And when that time come, hey, it be just like same time when I'm getting ready to come. Okay. But let's read on. Let's go over here to Habakkuk right quick. Let me see. I should have put a marker there because that little book can sometimes be difficult to find. And I was aiming on putting a marker there. Here we go. I got it. Okay, I'm going to Habakkuk, the third chapter. I'm gonna start reading in verse 2. And it reads, oh Lord, I have heard thy speech. This is Habakkuk here. He said he was listening, man. He heard what the Lord said. Let's see what happened. Oh Lord, I heard thy speech and was afraid. Mm. Oh Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. Lord, he said, no, ask the Lord, said, Lord, when you will wrath come, remember some mercy. Okay, verse 12. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thrash the heathen in anger. He thrashed the nations in anger, people. Verse 16. Let's see what he said. Let's see what Rebecca said right here. When I heard, my belly trembled. Ooh, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself that I might rest in the day of trouble. Whoa. Rebecca said, he hope he dead, man, before this time come. Okay. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. Them angels. Okay. But oh, Rebecca said, man, I tell you what, he said, my belly trembled, my lips quivered, and rottenness entered into his bone. You know, he was scared, man. Lord, oh, he heard that. So I'll tell you something, people, it's going to be devastating. Okay. But let's go back over here right quick to Matthews. Show you this one. Go to Matthews. I'm gonna say something right here. Let's talk about that great tribulation, 3.5 years of great tribulation, man. So you know what to do. Man, you don't hear none of this stuff in the churches, man. You don't have a clue what this is. Look at this. It's Matthew 24, and start reading verse 15. And it reads, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him understand. Now, what is the abomination of desolation? It's not very many people out there that know that, especially those still in those Sunday churches. Okay. I have a clue what this is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. That is that man of sin. Okay. The Antichrist. And he is sitting right there in Rome, in Vatican City, heading up that Catholic Church right now. But what they gonna do? They're gonna build a temple. Not them, but they'll build a temple over in Jerusalem. And this cat gonna come over there and they're gonna place him in there. Okay, and that is going to kick off that great 3.5 years of great tribulation. I'm gonna tell you something, people. You do not want to get caught up in that. All right, there's a place of safety, but if your past ain't teaching you about it, you have yourself a problem. All right. But said, then this is verse 16. Then let them which be in Judea flee unto the mountain. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So Lord is showing you how urgent it's going to be when they get moving there. When he put him in that temple, it's going to be an urgent time. You better run. Better run. He said, don't even come down off the house. You come down off that house, your feet better be running. Okay. Don't even, you in the field working somewhere, don't come back to the house and get no clothes. Run. Okay, and try and make it to that place of safety if you know about it and if you know where to go. So, but anyway, and let's see, 18, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. It's going to be a terrible time, people. You do not want to get caught up in it, man. Not by any means. Okay. But let's go to this last scripture right quick here. Uh, we're going to Revelations, the last book in the Bible now. These first two verses right here, verse 12 and 13, I'm going to read them in red. So this is Jesus talking right here, okay? And it reads, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to as his work shall be. Gotta have some works, people, and better be good works. All right, verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. So Jesus is the first God we ever deal with, and he will be the last God that we ever deal with. Okay. But if you do what he say, you read this book, you keep his laws, statutes, commandments, let's see, you just might be so blessed to receive this. Look, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. What city? That holy Jerusalem that John saw coming down out of heaven from God, adorned like a bride to a husband. That's the city you want to try and get into. Okay. But one thing about it, people, I'm going to tell you something. When the Lord comes, the end of all wars is at his coming. He going to bring that last one. And you don't want to get caught up in it if at all possible. Read this book. Do what it say. Keep God's commandments. All right. So, with that food for thought, think on these scripts and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.